Hello my beautiful people, welcome back to my channel. By the way you guys, I am not naked. I do have on a tank top. It is just really hot in my house and I have been sick, so I'm trying to have as less clothes as possible. If you're new to my channel, hi, my name is Blessing. Welcome and thank you so much for choosing to click the subscribe button and for joining the family. For all my OGs, one love. I love you guys so much. Today's video is going to be a girl talk video. I know you guys love these and I love doing them. We all get to learn something and just that can help us with our relationship. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I received an email from a young lady. I'm gonna read it. It's quite lengthy, so I might summarize the rest of it. Email is like mad long, so I don't know. I'm gonna read it, but I might summarize the rest. So let's go ahead and get started. Hi Blessing, my name is Erica. I'm 23. I have been subscribed to your channel for a while now and absolutely love your videos. Thank you so much. I'm currently in a relationship, but we recently broke up after 4 years of dating. Ouch. As you can imagine, I am devastated. I really hoped he was the one. Throughout our relationship, there have been things happening that made me question him. One of the biggest one being his ex. His ex has a daughter that my boyfriend has decided to take responsibility for because he feels bad that she does not have a father figure. His ex will call him to hang out and it makes me feel uncomfortable. I have asked him to stop the relationship but he refuses. I really don't know what to do because we live together and I have nowhere else to go. I prayed for the right guy but I feel like I no longer know who I am sleeping with. We always break up and get back together, after a week or so, but this time I am tired of feeling left out. I feel like I don't matter in his life. I need help. Thanks again, Erica. She goes on and adds other details, but I'm just basically gonna summarize it because it's really long. Okay, so Erica, the reason I wanted to do your email specifically was because I feel like there's a lot of things, like a lot of people do go through similar situations, so I wanted us to, like, one, have a platform where we can just discuss it and learn from it, but two, I really have a message for like all the single ladies out there, because I think sometimes when you're single you feel like almost like it's the worst thing, but I'm really not understanding the dynamics between your boyfriend and his ex. There are a lot of guys out there who are not willing to take care of their child, needless to say another man's child. So I'm really not understanding why he feels the need to take care of someone else's child when there are people out there who won't even pay child support for their own children. My question to you now is, are you sure he is not the father of this child? And second, are you the godfather? Like, if you have no ties with this child and you are now in a whole new relationship, why are you still dealing with your ex? I'm really not understanding that part, and obviously neither are you. Erica, honestly, I do feel like you deserve better, and I feel like you know that you deserve better. There are a lot of people who will stay in a relationship for absolutely no reason. There's this quote by Maya Angelou that I absolutely love. Don't make a person a priority if all you are to them is an option. Honestly, that's kind of what it sounds to me that you are. You're not just only an option, but you're one of 3 options. You're now the 3rd option. There's the ex, there's the baby, and then there's you. Why would you want to be in a relationship with someone who puts you 3rd in their life? You have the right to be first priority in someone's life. It's not a selfish desire. It's not a selfish thing to ask for. You have every right to be first priority in a person's life, and from all the looks of it, it looks like you're 3rd. You are now 3rd in this man's life. He has his ex, he has the baby, and then there's you. Honestly, this ex, I really don't know. Like, in the email, she also said that the ex has now moved on. The ex is now in a different relationship. But for me, that could all be just a little camouflage to make it look like she's not really into your man, because there are a lot of girls out there who honestly get into a relationship just to make it look like they have moved on from their ex or whatever the situation is. And honestly, you can't really blame the little girl because she's an innocent little girl. It's really these two adults who are making these choices. And like I said, you do deserve to find someone who will put you first. In your email, you say you pray for the right guy, and you really thought he was the right guy. People change every day. My question to you, and to all the single ladies out there too, like, when you pray for God to send you your man, the man of your dreams. What exactly are you praying for? Are you praying for the right things, or are you praying for superficial things? Are you praying that this man makes 6 figures, is 6 feet tall, and has a 6-pack? Or are you praying that the man that God sends you is loyal, he's trustworthy, he has the fear of God in him, he will treat you as a queen? What exactly are you praying for? And I find a lot of single girls really do pray for superficial things. That's what the devil will give you. The devil knows what you want. The devil knows how to get you. He will give you the 6 feet tall, 6 figures, and has a 6-pack. But is that really what you need? Or do you want someone that actually has substance? Someone who is God-fearing? Someone who will not put his hands on you? Someone who understands the meaning of loyalty? Someone who understands what it means to be in a relationship with someone? Honestly, you guys, I live my life based on Maya Angelou's quote. Don't make someone a priority when all you are to them is an option. And I don't just use that just in my relationships, but I use that with my friendships, with everything that I do in life, because a lot of people will just use you and toss you and then bring you back out when they're done with you. And Erica, that's really not what you deserve. And I understand your fear right now, like you're scared because you guys do live together. You can change that. You can either, maybe if you have a good friend out there that you don't mind sharing rent with, you can ask them, yo, like, do you mind if I move in with you for the time being, you know, while I get my money right and find another place to move to? You don't have to feel like you're forced to continue to be with this guy just because you live together. If you're tired of being third choice, and if you're tired of just being an option, then you might want to reconsider the relationship. And especially if you say you've already spoken to him and he continues to ignore you and continues to say and continues to refuse stopping the relationship with his ex, it definitely sounds like he still has feelings for this ex, because there's really no logical explanation for why he would completely take responsibility for another man's child when he's in a whole new relationship. You know, it's different. And the guy who she is now claiming to be in a relationship with, like, how does he feel about that? I really don't know any man who would be okay with his girl's ex now, you know, being part of their life. I really don't know any guy who would sincerely and honestly be okay with that. So there are a lot of pieces in this puzzle, in this mess, that really just aren't making sense to me. But Erica, you are still young. You're only 23 years old. Sometimes you have to kiss a few frogs to find your Prince Charming. I understand 4 years is absolutely a long time. Marriages out there that don't even last 1 year, and you guys have been together for 4 years. But in the email you also said that he has cheated on you in the past. So there are a lot of little things that you know, are red flags to me. And once you cheat on somebody, that trust is never going to be the same. No matter how hard, I mean, the person can always try and rebuild the trust. But if you keep doing little things like talking to your ex and still continuing to be part of your ex's life, it's hard for that trust to come back. Because even though you're trying so hard to get me to trust you again, the fact that you're still dealing with your ex and I'm asking you to stop, and you're still continuing that relationship, puts all the efforts that you have made so far, it just puts it to the side. Because now I'm like, what's the point of you even trying to regain my trust if you can't even stop talking to your ex? So is he still in love with his ex? I don't know, because I don't know him. But from all the things that you have mentioned and that you have said, it would lead me to think so. It really would lead me to think so, because otherwise there's really no reason for him to still be involved with this ex, and for him to still feel the need to take care of her daughter and all of that. I mean, there are guys out there who are super nice and who have the biggest heart and who will go above and beyond for anybody and anyone that they see, and that's a really good quality to have. And also, something else I'm kind of wondering is she using him as a babysitter? Because in the email, like I said, I only summarized the email for you guys. In the email, she also mentioned that this girl would basically call her boyfriend, say, oh, when are you going to come take my daughter to the movies, or when are you going to come spend time with us, and blah blah blah. Like, you just don't do that. So I'm just also wondering, like, is she also using him as a babysitter? Like, whenever she needs help, she's just like, oh, here, he'll do it because he has a bond with my daughter, so he wouldn't mind, he wouldn't say no to me. Because if that's the case, then that's also messed up and that's wrong. But either way, it just doesn't make sense. I would just follow your heart, and I don't want you feeling like you have to, like, you are forced to be in a relationship with this guy just because you live together. There are so many options out of that. Sometimes you have to swallow your pride and move back in with your parents until you are able to save enough for you to then move back out again and be on your own. If that's what you have to do, do that, as long as you are happy and you're content. There's no I mean, 4 years, like I said, is a long time, but hey, it's better now than never, honestly, because there's nothing worse than being in a relationship where you just feel stuck, where you just feel neglected, where you're just not a priority in the person's life. That is honestly the worst feeling, the worst type of relationship to be in, and I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy, because you only have one life to live. So don't live your life just filled with questions. You don't want to be in a relationship with someone where you have more questions than answers like you do now. And also, you mentioned like you guys always break up and get back together. That's one thing that guys absolutely do not respect. A guy will lose respect for you if you're always so wishy-washy, getting back together, breaking up, getting back together. And the reason being is he just won't take you seriously. So the next time that you guys do break up, he's just gonna be like, oh, she ain't going nowhere, she'll be back, we always do this, you know, we always break up, just give her 3 days, she gonna come back. So he starts to somewhat lose respect for you. So if you are really serious about ending this relationship and not going back, then you really have to stick to your guns and just say, you know what, come rain, come sun, I am not going back to this relationship, I'm not going back to this guy. And that's really what's going to get him to, if he loves you, to make a move and to make a change and to come your way. Because if you end up breaking up and then 3 days from now you go back to him, he's used to it, you know, he loses that respect for you. So if you're serious about breaking up with him and ending this relationship and being done, then stick to your ground, stick to your guns, and just stick to it. And I know it's so hard, like breakups are the hardest things. Like, you cry, you go through your text messages and you ask God, why me? Like, why can't I find a right guy? But honestly, we all have to go through those to really appreciate a good one when we see one. It's going to be hard for you. I'm not saying it's going to be easy, because 4 years, like I said, is a long ass time to be with somebody. Like, you guys really have history together. Is be mindful of what you pray for. Don't pray for superficial things. Do pray for things that actually are meaningful, because looks fade away, but you can't change a person's character. You can't change a person's values or a person's beliefs. You really need to pray for someone who will match you on different levels. And also, being in a relationship is not just about finding someone who will complete you. That's not what you need. It's not a man's job to complete you. You need someone who will compliment you and not complete you. It's not their job to build up your self-esteem. It's not their job to build your confidence. It's not their job to do all of that stuff. As a single woman, your time of being single, that's your time to really work on yourself. That's your time to, if you're in school, to finish school. That's your time to really be focused and to build your self-esteem, to be as confident as you possibly can be, to be financially stable, to really be a well-packaged individual, so that when you do meet the right person, you guys just kind of come together as one and you balance each other out. It's not a man's responsibility to fill in the gaps of wherever you might be lacking. That's not what it's supposed to be, because you're always going to have a void. If that's what you go into a relationship, having all these things that aren't really complete within you, you're always going to have a void, and you're always going to find yourself kind of struggling to meet up with him. If you're already going to a relationship where you're well packaged, you're well rounded, you're already as confident as you can be, your self-esteem is at a good level, you know, you're focused and you have your mind right, all these things really wouldn't matter to you. Anyway, I hope this advice helped, and I will see you guys on my next video. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't, and bye. One love.